Ambassador Dr. Eleanor Blackwood stood at the United Earth Embassy's landing pad, watching the alien delegation's ship descend through Earth's atmosphere. The vessel's crystalline surface rippled like liquid mercury, compensating for what its occupants surely considered brutal atmospheric pressure. She smiled, remembering the lengthy negotiations just to get them to land on Earth's surface rather than insisting on orbital meetings. The ship's external sensors were probably screaming warnings about the deadly conditions, 20 degrees Celsius temperature, 1 g gravity, and enough oxygen to be considered toxic by some species standards. These were the exact reasons Earth had been classified as a death world by the Galactic Council, a designation that had initially offended humanity but now amused them greatly. The ship settled with perfect precision, and a shimming field of energy established a safe zone around it. The entry port dilated, revealing 3 distinct alien forms. Leading them was High Scholar Xyrix 9, a towering being composed of crystalline structures that caught the sunlight in mesmerizing patterns. Behind them came Technical Specialist Noom, whose amorphous form was contained within a hovering environmental suit, and Cultural Observer VexTH, an insectoid being whose iridescent exoskeleton was reinforced with additional protective layers. "Welcome to Earth," Eleanor called out, purposefully not wearing an environmental suit. The alien's reaction was immediate and dramatic. VexTH's antennae went rigid with shock, while Noom's form rippled in what their briefings had identified as extreme distress. Ambassador Blackwood. Xyrix 9's translated voice carried both authority and alarm. "Your protective equipment has failed. You must seek shelter immediately." Eleanor suppressed a chuckle. "I assure you, High Scholar, I'm perfectly fine. Humans don't require environmental suits in Earth's natural conditions." "Impossible," Noom's translator crackled. "Our sensors indicate extreme oxidizing agents in the atmosphere, radiation from your star reaching the surface, and microscopic organisms everywhere." "All true," Eleanor confirmed, spreading her arms. "And all part of the environment we evolved in. Perhaps we should continue this discussion inside? While I'm comfortable here, I understand these conditions are challenging for you." The delegation followed her into the embassy, their movements cautious and measured. The building had been specially designed with multiple environmental zones to accommodate various alien physiologies. As they entered the delegation's assigned chamber, Eleanor noticed their subtle relaxation as the environment adjusted to their preferences. "Fascinating and disturbing," Xyrix 9 observed, crystal formations shifting in what Eleanor had learned was their equivalent of a head shake. "You truly live unprotected in such conditions?" "Not only live," Eleanor replied, activating a holographic display. "We thrive. Let me show you something that might help explain." The display filled with images of human achievements, deep-sea explorers navigating crushing pressures, mountaineers scaling peaks in thin air, researchers working in Antarctic stations, and astronauts walking on Mars. Each of these environments, she explained, would be instantly fatal to unprotected humans. Yet we've developed ways to not just survive there, but to work, study, and expand our understanding of the universe. VexTH's antennae twitched rapidly. "You deliberately seek out even more extreme conditions than your already lethal homeworld?" "We call it exploration," Eleanor smiled. "Every challenge we overcome teaches us something new about ourselves and the universe. It's not just about survival, it's about understanding and growth." "But the risks?" Noom's form swirled with patterns indicating deep confusion. "Are calculated," Eleanor finished. "Every species has its strengths. Yours," she nodded to Xyrix 9, "can process complex quantum calculations naturally. Noom's people can manipulate energy fields instinctively. VexTH's species has unmatched engineering capabilities. Humanity's strength? We adapt. We see obstacles as opportunities." The aliens exchanged glances, their respective communication methods creating an interesting display of light, movement, and color. Finally, Xyrix 9 spoke, perhaps we have misunderstood. We classified Earth as a death world based on our own standards of habitability. But it seems we failed to consider that such conditions might forge something unique. Eleanor nodded, pulling up more displays. Let me show you our research facilities. I think you'll find that what you consider survival, we consider just the beginning of our potential. As she began the presentation, Eleanor noticed the aliens' postures shifting from defensive to attentive. The first step in changing their perspective was underway. Soon, they would understand that Earth's harsh conditions hadn't created victims, they had created innovators. The Mariana Deep Sea Research Station wasn't built to impress aliens. At 4 kilometers below the Pacific surface, it existed to study the mysteries of Earth's deepest trenches. But as Dr. Eleanor Blackwood watched the delegation's reactions through their live feed, she knew this demonstration would change their understanding of humanity forever. The pressure at this depth, technical specialist Noom's translated voice wavered, it's beyond catastrophic. Your researchers willingly descend to these depths? Dar. Marcus Chen, the station's lead researcher, appeared on their viewing screen, the enormous pressure outside his reinforced window causing no apparent concern. Actually, we're planning to establish a new facility another 3 kilometers down next year. The unique geological and biological activities at those depths could revolutionize our understanding of life itself. VexTH's antennae twitched rapidly. But why? Surely surface laboratories would be safer? Safer, yes, Marcus agreed, adjusting a control panel as a bioluminescent creature drifted past his viewport. But we'd miss so much. Every discovery here challenges our preconceptions. Did you know we've found organisms that can survive without oxygen, using hydrogen sulfide instead? Life always finds a way, and we want to understand how. Eleanor noticed Xyrix 9's crystalline structure shifting in what she now recognized as deep thought. The High Scholar had been unusually quiet during their tour of Earth's extreme research sites. Their next destination provided an even more dramatic contrast. The Kilauea Volcanic Observatory perched on the edge of one of Earth's most active volcanoes, its reinforced structures designed to withstand both intense heat and corrosive gases. Dr. Jasmine Patel, the facility's director, greeted them through the feed, her environmental suit covered in volcanic ash. Behind her, rivers of molten rock painted the landscape in orange and red. We're currently testing new heat-resistant alloys, she explained, gesturing to a nearby testing station. The volcanic environment helps us understand how materials behave under extreme conditions. This research is crucial for our Mars colonization efforts. Mars? Noom's form rippled with confusion. Your neighboring planet? But our scans show it's even more inhospitable than Earth. Exactly, Jasmine grinned through her protective visor. That's what makes it interesting. We've already established several permanent bases there. The challenges of surviving on Mars have led to innovations in everything from agriculture to radiation shielding. The delegation's final stop was perhaps the most shocking to their alien visitors. The Antarctic Research Station stood alone on the ice, enduring temperatures that would freeze the blood of most species in the galaxy. Dr. Ibrahim Hassan welcomed them from his cozy research lab, thick windows holding back the howling storm outside. -70 degrees Celsius today, he announced cheerfully. A bit chilly, but nothing we can't handle. We're tracking some fascinating climate patterns that could help us understand planetary weather systems throughout the galaxy. Your species, Xyrix 9 finally spoke, their crystalline voice resonating with something like awe, voluntarily establishes outposts in environments that would kill you in minutes without protection? Of course, Ibrahim replied, pulling up some research data. Every extreme environment teaches us something new. The cold here has helped us develop better insulation technologies, more efficient energy systems, and even new medical treatments. Back at the embassy, Eleanor watched the delegation processing what they'd seen. Their body language, from Vexth's constantly moving antennae to Noom's swirling patterns, suggested deep internal conflict. I believe, Xyrix-9 said slowly, we have fundamentally misunderstood your species. We saw Earth's conditions as limitations, barriers to advancement. But you see them as challenges to overcome, opportunities to learn. That's humanity's greatest strength, Eleanor explained. We don't just adapt to survive, we adapt to thrive. Every hostile environment we encounter becomes a laboratory, every obstacle a chance to innovate. But the risks, Noom began, are calculated, Eleanor finished. Yes, we lose people sometimes. Every explorer knows the dangers. But we honor their sacrifices by learning, by pushing forward, by using what we discover to make life better for everyone. Vexth's translator crackled with what sounded like reluctant admiration. No wonder your species advanced so quickly. You treat lethal conditions as learning opportunities. Perhaps, Xyrix-9's crystalline form sparkled with new understanding, this is why the old records warn about underestimating Earth species. We thought your world's harsh conditions were a weakness. Instead, they are the forge that created your strength. Eleanor smiled, bringing up a final holographic display. Would you like to see what we're working on next? We've just approved an expedition to explore the methane lakes of Titan. The aliens' reactions suggested they were finally beginning to understand, Earth wasn't a death world. It was an incubator for one of the most adaptable species in the galaxy. The warning came without preamble. Earth's solar monitoring stations detected a massive coronal mass ejection heading straight for the planet. Under normal circumstances, this would trigger standard protective protocols. But these weren't normal circumstances. The radiation burst will overwhelm our ship's shielding, Xyrix-9's crystalline form pulsed with urgent patterns. Our protective systems aren't designed for this level of solar activity. Eleanor Blackwood's fingers flew across her command console in the embassy's crisis center. Your ship's shield harmonics, can they be modified? Impossible, technical specialist Noom's form churned with distress. Our engineering principles are based on stable energy patterns. This level of radiation would shatter our containment fields. Then we adapt, Eleanor stated firmly. She opened a communication channel. Dr. Blackwood to Solar Defense Command. Patch me through to Dr. Raj Patel. A holographic image materialized, showing a serious-faced man surrounded by streams of data. Eleanor, we're tracking it. Impact in 47 minutes. Earth's magnetosphere will handle most of it, but anything in low orbit. Including our visitor's ship, Eleanor finished. Raj, remember that shielding modification you were theorizing about? The one that combines their crystalline technology with our plasma containment fields? It was just a theory. Raj protested. We'd need weeks to test Dash. We have 46 minutes, Eleanor cut in. I'm sending you their shield specifications now. Make it work. Vexth's antennae quivered. You cannot simply combine technologies without proper testing protocols. Watch us, Eleanor replied, already coordinating with other stations. Cultural observer, your species specializes in engineering. We need your insight on structural integrity. High scholar, your natural ability to process quantum calculations will be crucial. Specialist Noom, your energy field manipulation could be the key to making this work. The next 40 minutes were a blur of activity. Raj's team worked frantically with the alien delegation, combining centuries of different scientific approaches into something entirely new. Humans' brutal efficiency meshed with alien precision, creating solutions that neither species would have conceived alone. The modifications are ready, Raj announced, his voice tense. But someone needs to be on the ship to implement them. The radiation levels will be lethal without protection, Xyrix-9 finished. We cannot ask Dash. "I'm going," announced Commander Diana Rodriguez, stepping forward in a radiation suit. "I've trained for solar weather events. I know the risks. But you'll die." Noom's translator crackled with genuine concern. Diana checked her suit seals. "The suit gives me 18 minutes. The modifications will take 15. I've got a 3-minute margin for error." She smiled grimly. Practically luxury. Eleanor watched as Diana boarded the alien vessel. The next 15 minutes were the longest of her life. Through the command center's windows, she could see the sky taking on an ominous glow as the leading edge of the solar storm approached. "Modifications at 60%, Diana's voice came through, slightly distorted. "Suit integrity holding. Radiation levels rising," Raj reported. "First wave hitting the magnetosphere. 80%. Diana's breathing was becoming labored. "Minor suit breach detected. Continuing implementation." "Commander, abort mission," Xyrix 9 urged. "The risk dash. Modifications complete." Diana's triumphant voice cut through. "Shield harmonic stabilizing. New containment field engaging." The sky erupted in curtains of aurora as the solar storm struck. On their monitors, they watched as the modified shields on the alien ship flared to life, combining crystalline stability with plasma adaptability. The impossible merger of technologies held. Hours later, after Diana had been treated for radiation exposure and the storm had passed, Eleanor found the alien delegation in their chamber, still processing what they'd witnessed. "Your commander," VexTH spoke first, "she knowingly risked death to save our ship." "Not just risked it," Noom added, "she calculated the exact time she needed and worked within those constraints, even with failing equipment." "This is what we've been trying to show you," Eleanor explained. "Humans don't just survive Earth's challenges. We learn from them. Every crisis we face teaches us something new." Commander Rodriguez didn't just risk her life, she used everything she knew about surviving in hostile conditions to complete her mission. "The shield modifications shouldn't have worked," Xyrix 9 mused, their crystalline surface reflecting the last traces of aurora in the sky. "The principles involved violate at least 3 laws of conventional engineering. Yet when faced with no other options, we made them work," Eleanor finished. "That's what humans do. We take what we know, combine it with what we learn from others, and push the boundaries of what's possible. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's dangerous, but it's how we progress." The aliens were silent for a long moment, their various forms of communication suggesting deep internal discussions. Finally, Xyrix 9 spoke, "We came to study a death world. Instead, we find ourselves questioning everything we thought we knew about adaptation and survival." Eleanor smiled. "Then perhaps it's time to show you what else we've learned from living on this supposedly deadly planet." The Global Innovation Center sprawled across what was once a disaster zone. Decades ago, a massive earthquake had devastated the region. Now, it housed humanity's most advanced research facilities, built using lessons learned from that very catastrophe. "You constructed this," High Scholar Xyrix 9 observed, their crystalline form reflecting the morning sunlight, "on an active fault line?" "Not just on it, Dr. Eleanor Blackwood explained, leading the delegation through the facility's main atrium. "We built it because of it. The earthquake taught us about structural weaknesses we'd never considered. Now, this facility can withstand seismic events that would have leveled our old buildings." "Fascinating," muttered Dr. Kenzo Tanaka, the center's chief researcher, reviewing data on his tablet. "Your ship's shield modifications during the solar storm have given us incredible insights. We've already incorporated some principles into our planetary defense systems." "You adapted our technology so quickly?" Noom's form swirled with surprise. "Without extensive testing?" "We tested it during the crisis," Kenzo replied matter-of-factly. Nothing reveals a design's true capabilities like real-world conditions. Speaking of which, he turned to Eleanor. The Prometheus project is ready for demonstration. The delegation followed them to a massive testing chamber. Inside, a device that looked like a hybrid of human and alien technology hummed with potential energy. Dr. Amara Okafor, the project lead, stood at the controls, her excitement barely contained. "What you're seeing," she explained, "is a gravity manipulation system inspired by your environmental suits. We discovered that the principles you use for personal gravity adjustment could be modified for large-scale applications. But our technology is designed for individual protection." VexTH's antennae twitched rapidly. "The power requirements for this scale would be enormous," Amara agreed, grinning. "Until we combined it with our geothermal energy tap. Watch this." The device activated, creating a controlled gravity well that could be adjusted with precise commands. The aliens watched in astonishment as Amara demonstrated how it could be used for everything from disaster prevention to space construction. "You took technology designed for survival," Xyrix 9 stated slowly, "and transformed it into a tool for advancement?" "That's the human way," Eleanor explained. "Every challenge we overcome teaches us something new. Sometimes, what keeps us alive today becomes what helps us thrive tomorrow." The tour continued through various departments, each showcasing how humanity had turned survival adaptations into innovations. They visited the Environmental Systems Lab, where Dr. James Running Bear demonstrated how studies of extremophile bacteria had led to breakthrough medical treatments. "These organisms," he explained, holding up a sample container, "survive in conditions that should be impossible for life. By understanding how they do it, we've developed treatments for diseases we once thought incurable." In the Advanced Materials Division, Dr. Fatima Al-Rashid showed them artificial tissues based on tardigrade biology. "These creatures can survive the vacuum of space," she explained. "We learn from them how to create materials that adapt to extreme conditions. Your species," Noom observed, "doesn't just overcome obstacles. You study them. Learn from them." "Every crisis is an opportunity," Fatima replied. "Every challenge contains lessons, if you're willing to learn them." The delegation's final stop was the Planetary Defense Command Center, where Commander Rodriguez was overseeing the implementation of the new hybrid shield technology. She had recovered from her radiation exposure, though her medical monitors still blinked steadily. "The shield modifications we created during the crisis," she explained, "led us to completely rethink our defensive systems. We're not just better protected now, we understand principles of energy manipulation that we never considered before. You turned a near disaster," VexTH stated, "into an advantage. That's humanity's greatest strength," Eleanor said. "We don't just survive challenges, we learn from them, adapt because of them, grow stronger through them. Earth isn't just our home, it's our teacher." Later, in their private chamber, the alien delegation engaged in intense discussion. Eleanor could see their various forms of communication, crystalline patterns, energy pulses, and pheromone signals, indicating deep contemplation. "We've been viewing Earth's harsh conditions as purely negative factors," Xyrix 9 finally said. "But they're not just obstacles to be overcome. They're catalysts for innovation. Every species in the galaxy specializes," Noom added, their form rippling thoughtfully. "Some develop natural defenses, others avoid hostile environments entirely. But humans adapt," VexTH finished. "Not just physically, but technologically, socially, culturally. They don't just survive their world's challenges, they're transformed by them." Eleanor smiled, pulling up a holographic display of Earth's next major projects. "Would you like to see what we're working on now? We've got some ideas about terraforming that might interest you." The aliens gathered around the display, their previous fear of Earth's conditions replaced by genuine curiosity. They were beginning to understand that what they had dismissed as a death world was actually something far more remarkable, an incubator for innovation, a crucible of creativity, a forge where adversity hammered out solutions that could benefit the entire galaxy. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Council hummed with nervous energy as representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered for an unprecedented session. At the center of attention stood Dr. Eleanor Blackwood, Earth's ambassador, alongside the alien delegation that had spent the past weeks studying humanity's Deathworld. High Scholar Xyrix Nine's crystalline form sparkled under the chamber's lights as they addressed the assembly. Honored representatives, we came to Earth expecting to study a primitive species barely surviving on a hostile world. What we found challenges everything we thought we knew about adaptation and progress. Holoprojectors activated, filling the chamber with images of human achievements, the deep-sea stations, volcanic observatories, and the recent crisis where human ingenuity had saved both species. The assembly murmured as they watched Commander Rodriguez's radiation-suited figure implementing the shield modifications that had protected their ship. But surely, called out Ambassador Thex of the Centaurian Collective, these are merely desperate survival measures? No species would choose such dangerous pursuits. Dr. Blackwood stepped forward. With respect, Ambassador, you misunderstand us. We don't pursue these challenges out of desperation, but out of curiosity and drive for advancement. Every obstacle we overcome teaches us something new about ourselves and the universe. Technical Specialist Noom moved forward, their amorphous form displaying patterns of strong conviction. We witnessed humans take our defensive technology and transform it into tools for exploration and growth. They don't just survive, they innovate. Consider this, cultural observer VexTH added, antennae moving in emphasis. While we evolved to avoid hostile conditions, humans evolved to overcome them. Their strength isn't in natural defenses or specialized adaptations, it's in their ability to learn, adapt, and grow stronger through adversity. The chamber erupted in discussion as representatives debated the implications. Professor Zalthar of the Science Academy rose to speak. You suggest we reclassify Earth? Remove its death world status? No, Xyrix 9 replied, their crystalline voice resonating through the chamber. We suggest something far more significant. Earth isn't a death world, it's an crucible, forging one of the most adaptable and innovative species we've encountered. Dr. Blackwood activated a new holographic display, showing Earth's latest projects, plans for Martian cities, deep space habitats, and technologies that combined human ingenuity with alien principles. We don't want to simply join the galactic community, she explained. We want to contribute to it. Every challenge we've overcome on Earth has taught us lessons that could benefit all species. The Council's prime speaker, a being of pure energy contained within an ancient ceremonial vessel, moved to the center of the chamber. You propose a new classification, Eleanor stated firmly. Earth shouldn't be marked as a place to avoid, but as a center for innovation in extreme environment adaptation. We offer our expertise to help other worlds face their own environmental challenges. And in return, the prime speaker asked. We seek knowledge, Eleanor replied. Access to the galaxy's scientific and cultural resources. Opportunities to learn from other species, just as they can learn from us. Together, we could solve problems that none of us could tackle alone. The chamber fell silent as the prime speaker considered. Finally, they spoke. In all our records, no species has ever proposed such a reclassification. Yet, the evidence presented is compelling. The Council will vote. As the representatives cast their votes, Eleanor felt the weight of the moment. This wasn't just about changing Earth's status, it was about changing the galaxy's understanding of what adaptation truly meant. The results appeared in glowing script above the chamber. The motion had passed. Let it be recorded, the prime speaker announced, that Earth is hereby reclassified as a Class A Innovation Center for Extreme Environment Adaptation. Furthermore, humanity is granted full membership in the Galactic Scientific Coalition, with special focus on survival technology and adaptive engineering. Later, as the Earth delegation prepared to return home, Xyrix 9 approached Eleanor. "You know," they said, crystalline surface shifting in what she now recognized as amusement, "when we first arrived on Earth, we thought we were studying a primitive species on a deadly world." "And now?" Eleanor asked, smiling. "Now we understand that what we saw as deadly conditions were actually the forces that shaped humanity into something remarkable. Your world isn't a place where life struggles to survive, it's a place where life learns to thrive." As their ship lifted off from Earth's surface, Eleanor watched the planet recede below them. The same gravity that other species feared had taught humans to build stronger. The same atmosphere they called toxic had pushed humans to understand chemistry and biology. The same harsh conditions they avoided had driven humans to innovate and explore. Earth wasn't a death world. It was a teacher, a challenge, an inspiration. And now, finally, the galaxy understood that what doesn't kill you doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you wiser, more adaptable, and ready to face whatever challenges the universe might present next. As they entered deep space, Eleanor received the first requests from other worlds seeking Earth's expertise in extreme environment adaptation. She smiled, knowing that humanity's greatest challenges had become their greatest gifts to share with the galaxy. The species that had learned to thrive on a death world was now ready to help others do the same.